100 Civics Questions, US Naturalization Test 2025, Part 1, Questions 1 to 15. Which question did you find the hardest? Let me know in the comments. The meeting room hummed with the murmur of voices as students settled into their seats, pens and notebooks ready. The walls were adorned with American history posters, and the air had a sense of anticipation. At the front of the room, Andrea stood with a warm smile, adjusting the projector that displayed the first set of questions on the screen. Today, they would begin with the first 15 questions of the civics test.
All right, everyone, today we'll begin with the first 15 questions of your civics test. I'll ask each question, and you'll have 3 possible answers to choose from. Afterward, I'll explain why the correct answer is what it is. Let's dive in. Question 1. What is the flag's 13 stripes for? A. To represent the 13 original colonies. B. To represent the 13 amendments. C. To represent the 13 states.
I'll go with A. To represent the 13 original colonies.
Correct. The 13 stripes on the flag represent the 13 original colonies that declared independence from Great Britain. Each stripe symbolizes the unity of those first colonies as they fought for their freedom. Question 2. Why did the colonists fight the British? A. Because of high taxes. B. Because of the French and Indian War. C. Because they wanted more land.
I'll go with A. Because of high taxes.
Correct. The colonists fought the British mainly due to high taxes like the Stamp Act and the Tea Act without having a voice in Parliament. This created tension and ultimately led to the American Revolution. Question 3. What is the name of the national anthem? A. America the Beautiful. B. God Bless America. C. The Star-Spangled Banner.
I'll go with C. The Star-Spangled Banner.
That's right. The national anthem is The Star-Spangled Banner, written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812. It describes the defense of Fort McHenry and the sight of the American flag still flying after the battle. Question 4. Name one right only for United States citizens. A. To own property. B. To vote in a federal election. C. To receive Social Security benefits.
I'll go with B. To vote in a federal election.
Correct. Only U.S. citizens can vote in federal elections. This right is a key part of being a citizen and having a voice in the government. Question 5. What is the political party of the president now? A. Democratic. B. Republican. C. Independent.
I'll go with B. Republican.
Correct. The current president, as of 2025, is from the Republican Party. The political party of the president can change after each election. Question 6. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? A. Clarence Thomas. B. John Roberts. C. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I'll go with B. John Roberts.
Correct. John Roberts is currently the Chief Justice of the United States. He's been in this position since 2005 and leads the Supreme Court in its decisions. Question 7. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? A. 1 year. B. 2 years. C. 4 years.
I'll go with B. 2 years.
Correct. U.S. representatives are elected every 2 years. This ensures that they remain accountable to their constituents and respond to their needs. Question 8. What is freedom of religion? A. You must follow the government's religion. B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. C. Religion is not allowed in the United States.
I'll go with B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
Correct. The First Amendment guarantees freedom of religion, meaning that individuals can follow any religion or not follow one at all without interference from the government. Question 9. What are 2 rights in the Declaration of Independence? A. Life and liberty. B. Freedom of speech and assembly. C. The right to bear arms and the right to a fair trial.
I'll go with A. Life and liberty.
Correct. The Declaration of Independence states that everyone is entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are fundamental rights that the U.S. government protects. Question 10. When must all men register for the Selective Service? A. At 16 years old. B. At 18 years old. C. At 21 years old.
I'll go with B. At 18 years old.
That's right. All men are required to register for the Selective Service when they turn 18. This helps the government keep track of individuals who could be called upon for military service in case of a national emergency. Question 11. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. A. The Crow. B. The Navajo. C. The Sioux.
I'll go with A. The Crow.
Correct. The Crow are one of many Native American tribes in the U.S. There are hundreds of tribes, each with its own unique culture and history. Question 12. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I'll go with B. Thomas Jefferson.
Correct. Thomas Jefferson was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence. His words declared the colonies' independence from Britain and outlined their reasons for doing so. Question 13. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A. Freedom of speech. B. Right to a speedy trial. C. Right to own a gun.
I'll go with A. Freedom of speech.
That's right. The First Amendment protects several basic freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition the government. Question 14. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? A. To serve on a jury. B. To pay taxes. C. To attend school.
I'll go with A. To serve on a jury.
Correct. Serving on a jury is a responsibility that is unique to U.S. citizens. It is an important civic duty that ensures fairness in the legal system. Question 15. What are two cabinet-level positions? A. Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State. B. President and Vice President. C. Speaker of the House and Majority Leader.
I'll go with A. Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State.
Correct. The President's cabinet includes key officials such as the Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State, who help advise the President and manage important government departments. Great job, everyone. You've made it through the first set of questions. Keep studying and keep up the good work. See you all in the next session.
The students began packing up their materials, their faces filled with satisfaction as they reviewed their notes. There was a renewed sense of confidence in the room. The first steps were done, and the next challenge awaited. 100 Civics Questions, US Naturalization Test 2025, Part 2, Questions 16 to 30. Struggling with any question? Comment below and we'll help. The atmosphere in the room was charged with a renewed sense of focus. Students had completed the first set of questions and were now ready for the next challenge. The whiteboard was filled with neatly organized notes, and Andrea was already preparing to lead the class through the next set of questions. The students seemed eager, some flipping through their books, others practicing silently.
All right, great work, everyone. Now, let's move on to the next 15 questions. Stay focused, choose the answer you think is correct, and I'll explain why afterward. Ready? Question 16. What is the capital of the United States? A. New York City. B. Los Angeles. C. Washington, D.C.
I'll go with C. Washington, D.C.
Correct. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. It's not part of any state and was specifically designated as the nation's capital when the U.S. Constitution was created. Question 17. Who was president during World War I? A. Franklin D. Roosevelt. B. Woodrow Wilson. C. Theodore Roosevelt.
I'll go with B. Woodrow Wilson.
Correct. Woodrow Wilson was the president during World War I, serving from 1913 to 1921. His leadership during the war and his push for the creation of the League of Nations marked his presidency. Question 18. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? A. The Atlantic Ocean. B. The Pacific Ocean. C. The Arctic Ocean.
I'll go with B. The Pacific Ocean.
Correct. The Pacific Ocean lies on the west coast of the United States, stretching from California to Alaska. It's the largest and deepest of the world's oceans. Question 19. What did the Declaration of Independence do? A. It ended the Civil War. B. It announced our independence from Great Britain. C. It created the Constitution.
I'll go with B. It announced our independence from Great Britain.
Exactly. The Declaration of Independence, written in 1776, declared that the 13 American colonies were free and independent from British rule. It outlined the reasons for the break. Question 20. Who did the United States fight in World War II? A. Japan, Germany, and Italy. B. Russia, Germany, and Japan. C. France, Italy, and Spain.
I'll go with A. Japan, Germany, and Italy.
Correct. During World War II, the U.S. fought the Axis powers, Japan, Germany, and Italy. The war lasted from 1939 to 1945 and was a defining global conflict of the 20th century. Question 21. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? A. July 4th, 1776. B. December 25th, 1776. C. January 1st, 1776.
I'll go with A. July 4th, 1776.
Correct. The Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776, marking the official beginning of the United States' independence from Great Britain. Question 22. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. A. The Vietnam War. B. The Civil War. C. The Korean War.
I'll go with B. The Civil War.
Correct. The Civil War was fought from 1861 to 1865 and was a pivotal conflict in U.S. history, centered around issues of slavery and states' rights. Question 23. In what month do we vote for president? A. January. B. November. C. September.
I'll go with B. November.
Correct. U.S. presidential elections are held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, every 4 years. Question 24. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? A. The spread of democracy. B. Communism. C. Imperialism.
I'll go with B. Communism.
Exactly. During the Cold War, the U.S. was mainly concerned with containing the spread of communism, particularly from the Soviet Union, as part of the larger ideological struggle between capitalism and communism. Question 25. What movement tried to end racial discrimination? A. The Women's Rights Movement. B. The Civil Rights Movement. C. The Labor Movement.
I'll go with B. The Civil Rights Movement.
Correct. The Civil Rights Movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., aimed to end racial discrimination and ensure equal rights for African Americans and other minorities. Question 26. Who signs bills to become laws? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The President. C. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
I'll go with B. The President.
Correct. After a bill is passed by Congress, the President signs it into law, or they may veto it. If the bill is vetoed, Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 majority vote. Question 27. How old must citizens be to vote for president? A. 18 and older. B. 21 and older. C. 16 and older.
I'll go with A. 18 and older.
Correct. Citizens must be at least 18 years old to vote in presidential elections. This was established by the 26th Amendment in 1971. Question 28. What is the highest court in the United States? A. The Federal Court. B. The Court of Appeals. C. The Supreme Court.
I'll go with C. The Supreme Court.
Correct. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States and has the final say on important legal cases, especially those involving the Constitution. Question 29. What does the judicial branch do? A. It makes laws. B. It reviews laws. C. It enforces laws.
I'll go with B. It reviews laws.
Correct. The judicial branch interprets laws, ensuring they are applied correctly and that they adhere to the Constitution. It also has the power to strike down laws that are unconstitutional. Question 30. We elect a U.S. Senator for how many years? A. 4 years. B. 6 years. C. 8 years.
I'll go with B. 6 years.
Correct. U.S. Senators serve 6-year terms. This longer term ensures that senators have time to make decisions based on long-term goals rather than short-term political pressures. Great job, everyone. You've finished the second set of questions. You're making excellent progress. Keep up the hard work, and soon you'll be more than ready for your test. See you in the next session.
The students gathered their things and exchanged excited murmurs, encouraged by how much they had learned. The sense of progress was palpable, and they knew the next set of questions was just around the corner. Their confidence was building as they prepared for the journey ahead. 100 Civics Questions, US Naturalization Test 2025, Part 3, Questions 31 to 45. Your feedback helps us improve. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. The classroom was quieter now, with everyone having settled into a rhythm. Andrea paced in front of the whiteboard, her smile a reassuring presence as she prepared to continue. The students were more confident, their pens poised as they awaited the next batch of questions. They had made it through 2 parts, and now the third was ahead. Andrea could see the energy in the room as they leaned forward, eager to continue their study journey.
All right, everyone, you're doing great. We're now moving into the next section. Let's keep this momentum going. I'll ask each question, and you'll choose the answer you think is correct. Afterward, I'll explain why. Ready? Let's get started. Question 31. What does the Constitution do? A. It sets up the government. B. It grants citizenship. C. It creates the states.
I'll go with A. It sets up the government.
Correct. The Constitution lays the foundation for the U.S. government. It outlines the structure of the federal government, the powers of each branch, and the rights of citizens. Question 32. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? A. To print money. B. To issue driver's licenses. C. To make treaties with other countries.
I'll go with B. To issue driver's licenses.
Exactly. One of the powers granted to the states is the ability to issue driver's licenses. States have a range of powers that allow them to govern their citizens and maintain order within their borders. Question 33. When was the Constitution written? A. 1776. B. 1787. C. 1791.
I'll go with B. 1787.
Correct. The Constitution was written in 1787 during the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. It was later ratified in 1788 and went into effect in 1789, creating the framework for the U.S. government. Question 34. Name your U.S. representative. A. This answer depends on where you live. B. Nancy Pelosi. C. John Roberts.
I'll go with A. This answer depends on where you live.
That's right. Each U.S. representative is elected to represent a specific district. So, your U.S. representative will vary depending on where you live. Question 35. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? A. It ended World War I. B. It freed the slaves. C. It created the Constitution.
I'll go with B. It freed the slaves.
Correct. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863, declared that all slaves in Confederate-held territory were free. It was a significant step toward the abolition of slavery in the U.S. Question 36. Where is the Statue of Liberty? A. New York Harbor. B. Washington, D.C. C. San Francisco Bay.
I'll go with A. New York Harbor.
Correct. The Statue of Liberty stands in the New York Harbor, welcoming immigrants to the United States. It was a gift from France to the U.S. in 1886, symbolizing freedom and democracy. Question 37. When do we celebrate Independence Day? A. July 4th. B. August 15th. C. November 11th.
I'll go with A. July 4th.
Correct. Independence Day is celebrated on July 4th each year to commemorate the adoption of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Question 38. Who was the first president? A. George Washington. B. Abraham Lincoln. C. Thomas Jefferson.
I'll go with A. George Washington.
Exactly. George Washington was the first president of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797. He played a key role in the founding of the country and set many important precedents for the office of president. Question 39. Name two national U.S. holidays. A. Christmas and New Year's Day. B. Labor Day and Memorial Day. C. Thanksgiving and Independence Day.
I'll go with A. Christmas and New Year's Day.
Correct. Christmas and New Year's Day are two of the major national holidays in the U.S. celebrated across the country with traditions and gatherings. Question 40. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? A. The House of Representatives and the Senate. B. The Senate and the Executive. C. The House of Representatives and the President.
I'll go with A. The House of Representatives and the Senate.
Correct. The U.S. Congress consists of two parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Together, they make the laws for the country. Question 41. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? A. To create local governments. B. To print money. C. To issue driver's licenses.
I'll go with B. To print money.
Correct. One of the powers of the federal government is to print money. This is a responsibility managed by the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve. Question 42. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. Being the first president. B. Being a U.S. diplomat. C. Leading the American Revolution.
I'll go with B. Being a U.S. diplomat.
Correct. Benjamin Franklin was a key diplomat during the American Revolution and played a vital role in securing French support for the colonies' fight for independence. Question 43. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? A. Alaska. B. The Philippines. C. Louisiana.
I'll go with C. Louisiana.
Correct. In 1803, the United States purchased the Louisiana Territory from France. This purchase, known as the Louisiana Purchase, doubled the size of the U.S. and opened up the western frontier for exploration and settlement. Question 44. Why does the flag have 50 stars? A. Because there are 50 states. B. Because there are 50 territories. C. Because there are 50 presidents.
I'll go with A. Because there are 50 states.
Correct. The 50 stars on the flag represent the 50 states of the United States. Each star symbolizes one state in the Union. Question 45. Name one state that borders Mexico. A. Texas. B. California. C. Florida.
I'll go with A. Texas.
Correct. Texas shares a border with Mexico, as do California, Arizona, and New Mexico. The U.S.-Mexico border is a significant geographic feature of the southwestern United States. Well done, everyone. You've just completed the next set of questions. You're doing amazing. Keep up the hard work. We'll be wrapping up soon, but you're almost there.
The students exchanged excited glances, feeling a sense of accomplishment as they prepared for the next phase of their studies. The room buzzed with positive energy as Andrea wrapped up the session, confident that her students were on the right track. 100 Civics Questions, US Naturalization Test 2025, Part 4, Questions 46 to 60. This video can help so many. Click share and spread the knowledge. The classroom had a focused atmosphere as the students continued to move through the questions. With each session, they were gaining confidence, and the feeling of accomplishment was growing stronger. The desks were filled with notes, open books, and the hum of pens scratching across paper. Andrea stood at the front, smiling as she prepared for the next batch of questions.
All right, everyone, you've made amazing progress. Let's keep going with the next 15 questions. As always, answer carefully, and I'll give you a detailed explanation afterward. Ready? Question 46. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. A. Citizens can vote. B. Women can vote. C. People over 30 can vote.
I'll go with A. Citizens can vote.
Correct. The 15th, 19th, and 26th Amendments expanded voting rights. The 15th gave African American men the right to vote, the 19th gave women the right to vote, and the 26th lowered the voting age to 18. The right to vote is guaranteed to U.S. citizens, regardless of race, gender, or age over 18. Question 47. Who is the governor of your state? A. This answer depends on where you live. B. The president. C. The mayor.
I'll go with A. This answer depends on where you live.
That's correct. The governor is the elected head of each state's executive branch. Since each state has its own government, the answer depends on your state. The governor serves as the leader of the state, similar to how the president leads the country. Question 48. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? A. The President. B. The United States. C. The Congress.
I'll go with B. The United States.
Correct. The Pledge of Allegiance expresses loyalty to the United States of America. When we say the pledge, we promise allegiance to the nation and its flag, which represents the values of liberty and justice. Question 49. How many amendments does the Constitution have? A. 23. B. 27. C. 32.
I'll go with B. 27.
That's correct. The U.S. Constitution has 27 amendments. The first 10 are known as the Bill of Rights, which protect individual freedoms. The other 17 amendments address various legal and social changes that have evolved over time. Question 50. Name one branch or part of the government. A. The President. B. The Senate. C. The police.
I'll go with A. The President.
Correct. The President is the head of the executive branch of the U.S. government. This branch is responsible for enforcing laws, handling foreign relations, and commanding the military. Question 51. If both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The Secretary of State. C. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
I'll go with A. The Speaker of the House.
Correct. If both the president and vice president cannot serve, the Speaker of the House of Representatives is next in line to become president. This is part of the presidential line of succession, which ensures that the country always has a leader. Question 52. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? A. Kamala Harris. B. Mike Pence. C. J.D. Vance.
I'll choose C. J.D. Vance.
Correct. J.D. Vance is the current Vice President of the United States, serving under President Donald Trump. He assumed office in 2021 after the Trump administration's re-election victory. Question 53. Who is in charge of the executive branch? A. The President. B. The Chief Justice. C. The Speaker of the House.
I'll go with A. The President.
Correct. The President is the head of the executive branch, which is responsible for carrying out and enforcing the laws passed by Congress. The President also serves as Commander-in-Chief of the military and represents the country in foreign affairs. Question 54. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? A. Franklin Roosevelt. B. Theodore Roosevelt. C. Harry Truman.
I'll go with A. Franklin Roosevelt.
Correct. Franklin D. Roosevelt was the president during the Great Depression and much of World War II. His New Deal programs helped lift the country out of the Depression, and his leadership during World War II was pivotal in defeating the Axis powers. Question 55. How many U.S. senators are there? A. 50. B. 100. C. 200.
I'll go with B. 100.
Correct. There are 100 U.S. senators, 2 from each of the 50 states. Senators serve 6-year terms, and they help make laws and approve presidential appointments. Question 56. What is the economic system of the United States? A. Command economy. B. Market economy. C. Socialist economy.
I'll go with B. Market economy.
Correct. The U.S. has a market economy, which means that businesses and individuals make most economic decisions with minimal government interference. It's driven by the forces of supply and demand. Question 57. There were 13 original states. Name 3. A. New York, New Jersey, and New Hampshire. B. Florida, Texas, and California. C. Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana.
I'll go with A. New York, New Jersey, and New Hampshire.
Correct. New York, New Jersey, and New Hampshire were part of the original 13 states that formed the United States after declaring independence from Great Britain. Question 58. Name 1 U.S. territory. A. Puerto Rico. B. California. C. Florida.
I'll go with A. Puerto Rico.
Correct. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. It is not a state, but its residents are U.S. citizens and are governed by U.S. law. Question 59. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? A. 9. B. 12. C. 15.
I'll go with A. 9.
Correct. The U.S. Supreme Court consists of 9 justices. They serve lifetime appointments and have the final say on cases involving the Constitution and important legal questions. Question 60. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? A. January 1st. B. April 15th. C. December 31st.
I'll go with B. April 15th.
Correct. The deadline to submit your federal income tax forms is typically April 15th. If this date falls on a weekend or holiday, the deadline is extended to the next business day. Fantastic work, everyone. You're making great progress. With each set, you're getting closer to acing the test. Keep up the great effort, and let's continue this momentum into the next session.
The students exchanged smiles and packed up their materials, feeling proud of how far they had come. The session was another step toward their goal, and they were determined to keep pushing forward. The classroom was alive with a sense of shared achievement, and everyone was excited for the next part of their journey. 100 Civics Questions, US Naturalization Test 2025, Part 5, Questions 61 to 75. Let's help more people. Share this video with someone who needs it. The classroom was filled with the sound of pens scribbling as the students prepared for the next round of questions. Andrea stood at the front, confident in her students' abilities. This next set would push them further, but she knew they were ready. With a warm smile, she began the session.
All right, everyone, keep up the good work. Let's tackle the next set of questions, and remember, I'll explain why the answer is correct after each one. Question 61. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? A. Only people from the Senator's district. B. Only people from the Senator's party. C. All people of the state.
I'll go with C. All people of the state.
Correct. A U.S. Senator represents all the people of their state, not just a particular district or party. They work for the entire state and its citizens. Question 62. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. He ended World War I. B. He was the first president of the United States. C. He freed the slaves, which is called the Emancipation Proclamation.
I'll go with C. He freed the slaves, which is called the Emancipation Proclamation.
Correct. Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, issued in 1863, declared the freedom of slaves in Confederate states, which was a turning point in American history. Question 63. Who is one of your state's U.S. Senators? A. John Roberts. B. Nancy Pelosi. C. This answer depends on where you live.
I'll go with C. This answer depends on where you live.
Exactly. Each state has 2 U.S. senators, so the answer depends on where you live. You'll need to know your state's senators for the citizenship test. Question 64. What is an amendment? A. It's a rule for Congress. B. It's a new state law. C. It's a change to the Constitution.
I'll go with C. It's a change to the Constitution.
Correct. An amendment is a formal change or addition to the Constitution. There have been 27 amendments to date. Question 65. What are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? A. The right to own property and the right to vote. B. Freedom of speech and freedom of religion. C. The right to free healthcare and free education.
I'll go with B. freedom of speech and freedom of religion.
Correct. The First Amendment guarantees freedom of speech and freedom of religion for everyone living in the U.S. Question 66. Who is the Commander-in-Chief of the military? A. The President. B. The Secretary of Defense. C. The Vice President.
I'll go with A. The President.
Correct. The President of the United States is the Commander-in-Chief of the military, having ultimate authority over military decisions and national defense. Question 67. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? A. The Constitution was written. B. The Bill of Rights was passed. C. The Declaration of Independence was signed.
I'll go with A. The Constitution was written.
Correct. The Constitutional Convention of 1787 was where the U.S. Constitution was drafted, which established the structure of the government. Question 68. What is the rule of law? A. Only government officials must follow the law. B. Everyone must follow the law. C. The President decides the law.
I'll go with B. Everyone must follow the law.
Correct. The rule of law means that everyone, no matter their status or position, is subject to the law. It ensures fairness and justice. Question 69. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? A. Because they have more people. B. Because they have more military bases. C. Because they have more land.
I'll go with A. Because they have more people.
Correct. The number of representatives a state has in the House of Representatives is based on the state's population. States with larger populations have more representatives. Question 70. What did Susan B. Anthony do? A. She fought for civil rights for African Americans. B. She fought for women's rights. C. She led the U.S. military during World War I.
I'll go with B. She fought for women's rights.
Correct. Susan B. Anthony was a leader in the women's suffrage movement, working to secure the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. Question 71. Before he was president, Dwight D. Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? A. World War II. B. The Korean War. C. The Vietnam War.
I'll go with A. World War II.
Correct. Dwight D. Eisenhower was a five-star general during World War II, playing a key role in the success of the Allied forces before becoming president. Question 72. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. A. The Spanish-American War. B. The Civil War. C. World War I.
I'll go with B. The Civil War.
Correct. The Civil War was fought between the Northern States, Union, and the Southern States, Confederacy, from 1861 to 1865, primarily over slavery. Question 73. What is one reason colonists came to America? A. To escape war. B. Freedom. C. To find gold.
I'll go with B. Freedom.
Correct. Many colonists came to America seeking religious and political freedom. They wanted to build a new society where they could practice their faith freely. Question 74. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? A. African slaves. B. European settlers. C. Native Americans.
I'll go with C. Native Americans.
Correct. Native Americans were the original inhabitants of the land, living in North America for thousands of years before European settlers arrived. Question 75. Who makes federal laws? A. The Supreme Court. B. Congress. C. The President.
I'll go with B. Congress.
Correct. Federal laws are made by Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives. The President can sign bills into law, but it is Congress that creates the laws. Great job, everyone. You've done an amazing job so far. Keep up the momentum and continue your preparation. You're all getting closer to passing the test.
The students packed up their materials, exchanging smiles and talking excitedly about the progress they had made. Each session brought them one step closer to their goal, and they were ready for whatever came next in their journey towards citizenship. 100 Civics Questions, US Naturalization Test 2025, Part 6, Questions 76 to 90. Let's make learning easy for everyone. Share this video now. The students were feeling more confident as they sat, pens in hand, ready for another round of questions. Andrea could see how much they had grown over the course of their preparation. With every session, they were moving closer to their goal, and she was proud of their hard work. Today, they would tackle another batch of questions.
All right, you're all doing an excellent job. Let's keep this up. Answer carefully, and I'll explain why the answer is correct after each one. Here we go. Question 76. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? A. We the states. B. We the government. C. We the people.
I'll go with C. We the people.
Correct. The first 3 words, we the people, express the idea of self-government, meaning the power to govern comes from the people, not from a king or a distant government. Question 77. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? A. 100. B. 435. C. 500.
I'll go with B. 435.
Correct. The House of Representatives has 435 voting members, each representing a district based on population size. This allows for fair representation across the country. Question 78. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. A. World War I. B. The Civil War. C. World War II.
I'll go with C. World War II.
Correct. The United States fought in World War II from 1941 to 1945. The war was a global conflict, and the U.S. played a key role in defeating the Axis powers. Question 79. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. A. Slavery. B. Immigration. C. The economy.
I'll go with A. Slavery.
Correct. Slavery was one of the primary issues that led to the Civil War. The debate over whether slavery should be allowed in the U.S. caused a deep divide between the northern and southern states. Question 80. What do we call the first 10 amendments of the Constitution? A. The Constitution's provisions. B. The Bill of Rights. C. The Founding Amendments.
I'll go with B. The Bill of Rights.
Correct. The Bill of Rights refers to the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. These amendments guarantee fundamental freedoms like freedom of speech, religion, and the press. Question 81. Who vetoes bills? A. The President. B. The Speaker of the House. C. The Supreme Court.
I'll go with A. The President.
Correct. The President has the power to veto bills passed by Congress. If the President disagrees with a bill, they can reject it, but Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 majority. Question 82. What does the President's cabinet do? A. Creates new laws. B. Advises the President. C. Approves presidential nominees.
I'll go with B. Advises the President.
Correct. The President's cabinet consists of the heads of various government departments. They provide expert advice and help carry out the President's policies and decisions. Question 83. What is the supreme law of the land? A. The Bill of Rights. B. The Constitution. C. The Supreme Court's rulings.
I'll go with B. The Constitution.
Correct. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It sets the framework for the U.S. government and ensures that all laws passed by Congress adhere to its principles. Question 84. We elect a president for how many years? A. 2 years. B. 4 years. C. 6 years.
I'll go with B. 4 years.
Correct. U.S. presidents are elected for 4-year terms, and they can serve a maximum of 2 terms for a total of 8 years. Question 85. What are the 2 major political parties in the United States? A. Democratic and Republican. B. Democratic and Libertarian. C. Republican and Green.
I'll go with A. Democratic and Republican.
Correct. The 2 major political parties in the U.S. are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. These parties dominate the political landscape. Question 86. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? A. The Pacific Ocean. B. The Atlantic Ocean. C. The Indian Ocean.
I'll go with B. The Atlantic Ocean.
Correct. The Atlantic Ocean lies to the east of the United States, stretching along the eastern coast from Maine to Florida. Question 87. Name one state that borders Canada. A. New York. B. Florida. C. Texas.
I'll go with A. New York.
Correct. New York is one of the U.S. states that borders Canada, along with other states such as Michigan, Maine, and Washington. Question 88. What is the name of the President of the United States now? A. Joe Biden. B. Barack Obama. C. Donald Trump.
I'll choose C. Donald Trump.
Correct. Donald Trump is currently serving his second term as the President of the United States after winning re-election. He previously served from 2017 to 2021 and returned to office for a second term after the election. Question 89. Who is the father of our country? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I'll go with A. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington is known as the father of our country for his leadership during the Revolutionary War and his role as the first president. Question 90. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? A. He fought for civil rights. B. He was a U.S. president. C. He was a military leader.
I'll go with A. He fought for civil rights.
Correct. Martin Luther King Jr. was a key leader in the civil rights movement, fighting for equality and justice for African Americans through peaceful protest and advocacy. Fantastic work, everyone. You're all making amazing progress. Keep up the hard work, and with a little more practice, you'll be fully prepared for the test.
The students packed up their materials, feeling a renewed sense of confidence. They exchanged excited glances and spoke eagerly about the progress they had made. With each session, they were getting one step closer to achieving their goal of becoming U.S. citizens. 100 Civics Questions, US Naturalization Test 2025. Final part. Questions 91 to 100 plus 5 questions. Keep watching. I'll share the best memorization trick at the end. The students were almost at the finish line. Andrea noticed the sense of determination in their eyes as they prepared for the final stretch. Their progress had been incredible, and the end of their preparation journey was just around the corner. As the session began, there was a quiet buzz of excitement in the room. Everyone was ready to tackle the last set of questions, and Andrea couldn't help but feel proud of all their hard work.
All right, everyone, we're almost there. This is the final set of questions. You've made it so far, and I know you're all going to do amazing. Let's finish strong and wrap this up. Question 91. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The vice president. B. The Speaker of the House. C. The Chief Justice.
I'll go with A. The Vice President.
Correct. If the president can no longer serve, the vice president becomes president. This is outlined in the Presidential Succession Act. Question 92. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? A. Voting and running for office. B. Paying taxes and attending school. C. Watching debates and reading newspapers.
I'll go with A. Voting and running for office.
Correct. Voting in elections and running for office are 2 of the most important ways Americans can participate in democracy. These actions allow citizens to have a voice in their government. Question 93. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? A. To never leave the United States. B. To be loyal to the United States. C. To always agree with the president.
I'll go with B. To be loyal to the United States.
Correct. When becoming a U.S. citizen, you swear an oath of allegiance, which includes promising loyalty to the United States and its laws. Question 94. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? A. Nancy Pelosi. B. Mike Johnson. C. Mitch McConnell.
I'll go with B. Mike Johnson.
Correct. Mike Johnson is the current Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Speaker is the leader of the House and is second in line to become President after the Vice President. Question 95. What major event happened on September 11, 2001? A. The stock market crashed. B. Terrorists attacked the United States. C. The U.S. entered World War II.
I'll go with B. Terrorists attacked the United States.
Correct. On September 11, 2001, terrorists hijacked planes and carried out attacks on the U.S., leading to significant changes in U.S. security policies and the global fight against terrorism. Question 96. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? A. Europeans. B. Asians. C. Africans.
I'll go with C. Africans.
Correct. Africans were forcibly brought to the U.S. and sold as slaves, primarily from the 17th century until the Civil War, when slavery was abolished. Question 97. What is the capital of your state? A. This answer depends on where you live. B. Washington, D.C. C. New York City.
I'll go with A. This answer depends on where you live.
Exactly. Each state has its own capital, and you'll need to know the capital of your own state for the test. Question 98. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. A. John Jay. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. James Madison.
I'll go with A. John Jay.
Correct. John Jay, along with Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, wrote the Federalist Papers to encourage the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. Question 99. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? A. Term limits. B. The Bill of Rights. C. Checks and balances.
I'll go with C. Checks and balances.
Correct. The system of checks and balances ensures that no one branch of government, executive, legislative, or judicial, becomes too powerful by allowing each branch to limit the powers of the others. Question 100. Name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. A. The Mississippi River. B. The Colorado River. C. The Rio Grande.
I'll go with A. The Mississippi River.
Correct. The Mississippi River, along with the Missouri River, is one of the two longest rivers in the U.S., stretching more than 2,300 miles. Question 101. Which U.S. state is known for its volcanoes and earthquakes? A. Florida. B. California. C. Hawaii.
I'll go with C. Hawaii.
Correct. Hawaii is known for its volcanic activity, including the famous Kilauea volcano, and it is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Question 102. What is the main purpose of the U.S. Constitution? A. To establish laws for the country. B. To guarantee freedom of religion. C. To create a system of government.
I'll go with C. To create a system of government.
Correct. The primary purpose of the U.S. Constitution is to create a system of government and establish the structure of the three branches of government with checks and balances. Question 103. Which branch of government is responsible for making laws? A. Executive. B. Legislative. C. Judicial.
I'll go with B. Legislative.
Correct. The legislative branch, consisting of Congress, is responsible for making laws. The executive branch enforces them, and the judicial branch interprets them. Question 104. What is the largest state in the United States by area? A. Texas. B. California. C. Alaska.
I'll go with C. Alaska.
Correct. Alaska is the largest state in the U.S. by area, covering over 663,000 square miles, making it more than twice the size of Texas. Question 105. Which country did the U.S. fight in the War of 1812? A. Spain. B. Great Britain. C. France.
I'll go with B. Great Britain.
Correct. The War of 1812 was fought between the U.S. and Great Britain, primarily over maritime issues like trade restrictions and impressment of American sailors. Fantastic job, everyone. You've completed the final set of questions. I am so proud of how far you've come, and with your dedication, I'm confident you're all ready for your citizenship test.
The students looked at each other with smiles, feeling a sense of accomplishment. They had made it through every section, and their journey toward becoming U.S. citizens was almost complete. They packed up their materials, chatting excitedly about the progress they'd made, knowing that they had done their best. The finish line was in sight,